Harry, you were born just before the outbreak of the First World War.
That's right.
Can you remember anything of the First World War?
Yes, I think I can. I stayed some time with a maternal grandmother in Pontefract, and a Zeppelin dropped some bombs quite near, and they fell in the park there, due to the fact that some wise guy had deliberately lit some fires there to attract the bombing.
The book that you've written, which is an amazing thing to write a book in your 100th year. It's called Dangerous to Know.
Well, it was a title chosen by the publisher. I wanted to call it, rather menacingly, My First 100 Years. There's another lot to come. But he got his way, and the reason he did it was because a lot of people who knew me got into trouble. It so happened that a very high number of very distinguished people before who I think had been regarded by the press as unapproachable because of their rank and so forth, they confided in me. And whenever there was a row, and now you can see the extent of the row by the publication of a wodge of papers from the Cabinet Office, and the efforts made to discover my sources. My God,
Well, they bugged you, didn't they?
Well, they bugged my phone from the word go, and I've no doubt this is bugged as well.
But the truth is, Harry, you thrived in the Cold War, which was a period of amazing certainty in a way. You knew who was who, and if
Yes.
somebody was spying on the other, then that became a story.
Yes.
Do you think that those were safer times than we live in now?
Well, it's beginning to look a bit dangerous again. Instead of the Soviet Union, it looks like we're going to have the Putinet Union.
But you don't think we're going back to the same old Cold War, do you?
Well, it's bad signs at the moment, because depends what he does next. If he has a go at Lithuania or any of the Baltic states, then NATO will have to do something. So we may be in more than a Cold War. And I don't know whether you noticed, but Putin, during the course of all this business in the last few weeks, has test-fired one long-range missile, and that was quite deliberate, just, I think, to alert the West, now watch it.
You're still at it 100 years old. You're still watching what's going on and still
Oh, absolutely.
making notes.
It's fascinating, and
Let me bring you up to date to the present intelligence scene. What do you think of Edward Snowden?
well, I think he's a straightforward traitor, and I would like to see him shot. He just went off and took his great mass of secrets. How important they are, God knows. It's hard to tell. But it started something which showed that everybody else was spying on everybody else to a degree that was not regarded as possible before.
Well, in that sense, it's a change of degree. But as you said, you were bugged. You were approached by the KGB, but you were bugged by MI5.
If I'd been in MI5, I'd have bugged me.
You loved the intrigue of the spy.
Well, yes, the whole thing has been attractive to me mentally, to find out what the hell was going on in the intelligence world. What is of greatest interest at any one time to the government of the day? What are they fearful about? And I imagine a tremendous amount of espionage is going on in Moscow at the moment. What happens is we've got people there in the embassy, all posing as diplomats, but really MI6 officers.
Can we say that?
Sorry?
Have you checked that we can say that the embassy is full of spies?
Well, all I can tell you is that all nations have to know what other nations are really planning.
How have you managed to make it to 100?
I've never smoked a cigarette in my life, and I've never been a big drinker, which is unusual for a journalist in Fleet Street in those days. And I happen to be still here. Haven't made 100 yet, but I will.
Well, Harry, can I wish you happy birthday?
You can, and bless you for coming.
Thank you, Harry. Harry, very happy birthday.